Welcome everybody to the conclusion for the entire tournament, back nine, final round for the FPO coverage, the challenge at Goat Hill. I'm Zoe AnDyke.
And I'm Juliana Korver.
And we are super excited that GK Pro has chosen to not only cover us this entire weekend, but for the entire season. How cool to get the FPO covered. I mean, the players are doing so great this year. Here's a look at the leaderboard for our final round, back nine. We've got a tie with Lisa Fajkus and Ohn Scoggins. Ella Hansen at 1 down, Jessica Weese at 4 down. I think second card and third card is doing their best to try to catch up and climb the leaderboard. Let's see where the action brings us.
Here we have hole 10. This is a 753-foot par 4. It is the most significant downhill hole, and it might be the most fun hole to throw. There is OB both left and right, but the fairway is very generous. One interesting thing, you can see the fence on the left. It is not the fence line that is OB. There is a marked line about 5 feet to the right of the fence line.
Kapow over OB the whole way. Oh no. Clips the tree, OB. Ella had plenty of distance to come back in, but too low of height on that disc. She'll have to take it back quite a ways.
The wind on this hole is right to left. I think that's why the women are throwing way off to the right-hand side, expecting it to be pushed very far back left, just as Lisa's was.
I think she's got a remote control on that disc. Hey, roll a little further forward, please. Just kidding. Just a little more inside, but hanging it out with some anhyzer.
I like that edge control a lot.
Again, one of the best in the game, all the way down there, up where Lisa's disc is, pure air shot. And Ohn throwing towards the OB, but keeping it inside the fairway the whole time. Yeah.
Perfectly fine. Oh, it skipped much. No.
Please come back. Please come back.
Oh my goodness.
Really unfortunate roll there that the wind held the disc on its edge, suspended to roll into OB at the last minute.
Yeah, that's very unexpected to see that kind of a roll at the end of that shot. Not unexpected to see it skip, but then to skip up and roll.
This shot looks fantastic out of the hand. Pure distance, flipping up the hyzer.
I think that's pretty... Oh yeah, that's definitely putting. That was a great shot.
Good shot to come back with after that disappointing OB, and then Ohn ripping it, trying to get to the bowl, and finds the same spot almost.
Keep in mind that there is a very severe drop-off behind this basket. It's not as close behind the basket as some of the other baskets are to the edge, but it is more severe in slope than any of the other ones. They're all right together.
I love how that lip, though, is catching Lisa's disc. If it would have gotten on top and gotten that skip like we were talking about, there's like the 80-foot drop-off. Just towards the OB, but just far enough to be past where the OB ends, I believe. She's safe, yep. And I think she'll be giving this a safe layup. Great layup. This is not an easy green to do a layup, actually.
This is a very unique green with the giant divots on either side.
That was a good spot to land there. Lisa for her birdie. Oh, yeah.
So pretty.
Oh, yeah. She played that pretty much textbook all the way up and cashed in a putt that wasn't easy to make. Let's get the replay here. The footing wasn't easy either. I mean, you can see her ankles and toes pointed directly downhill. It's hard to balance.
Right, that's going to affect the strength of that putt, but she had plenty.
On just right of the basket there, giving her a comebacker, looking at the OB, looking at the death putt deep. She makes it though, it's no problem. Unfortunately for her, on that first shot, she did find OB, so she carded the bogey. Jess with an easy par there. And Ella tapping out her bogey as well, just because that unfortunate OB in the beginning.
Yeah, I think she's still thinking about that shot. Mm-hmm. Hole 11, 427-foot par 3. The predominant feature of this hole are the undulations in the fairway. which usually mean that any drive is going to have almost a no skip whatsoever. It is reachable by the biggest arms, but most people will have a pretty easy approach for their par.
Lisa, pretty aggressive off the tee there with that angle, but knows her disc well enough and kept it low enough that she's in a great spot. Easy to approach the green.
Yeah. The path, there is OB on the right-hand side of this fairway where it looks like there should be OB. But, I think we're going to find it here.
A little too much Anheuser on that.
Yeah.
Finding the OB, but getting to take it up a little bit further on the fairway because of the way that the disc flew into it. I'm imagining Ella going purely over the OB. Oh, also catching that wind.
They are throwing into a pretty strong headwind here.
Dang. 2 players finding the OB right. Ohn rounding out this card on hole 11. Also giving it angle, but having enough control, keeping it low and safely in the fairway. Taking her meter in for her 3 here. Ella throwing, I think that's a putter, deep of the basket, actually, with a straight downhill putt at it. I like this approach, and that
Nice.
should be no problem for Jessica Weese. Hoping to just put it under the basket, and that's what she does.
Yep.
Nice, easy, stress-free par for Ohn.
This upshot is more stress-free than others because there is no drop-off behind the basket on this particular hole.
As you can see, Lisa is parked safely there.
Oh, that's too bad.
Darn. Just low. Tough couple of holes here for Ella.
You know, her line's been good all day, but she's been a little high or a little low, not quite enough power.
But you are right. She is dialed into the center, just now needing the height. Jessica for her 4. And she's going to card the bogey just because of the OB stroke in the beginning. And we've got Lisa and Ohn tapping out their pars here. And Ella, unfortunately, with the double bogey. We've got the hole 12 flyover, sponsored by the discbarn.com. We love these guys. If you haven't checked out discbarn.com, you've got to get over there. They've got a huge selection, tons of Discmania, Discraft, Prodigy Discs, and 13 other companies. We really appreciate them sponsoring these flyovers. Thank you to the discbarn.com. This hole, by the way, is a beast. Par 5. Oh, man. Plenty of distance needed. The first shot isn't quite as technical as the rest, the second and third shot, but Lisa keeping it clearly in the middle of the fairway here.
Right. There is OB on the left-hand side, but it takes a really big arm and an aggressive shot to find it for the first tee shot.
That's in a pretty good position there up the fairway. Jessica going with the backhand, as I would imagine.
This tee pad is just slightly uphill, which I know some of the women were had that in their mind when they're throwing. You can kind of tell it's a little bit uphill.
It's also a really small piece of turf, so it's kind of like you just have to plan to land on the turf rather than use it for the run-up. But no problem getting way up the fairway there for Ella.
Very good position for Ella.
Ohn lining up her second shot. Just got to keep it in the middle. You do not want to be too far right because you've got the hill and all the obstruction of the trees. And left, you certainly want to stay away from with the OB. Stop. Stop it.
But you also want to cheat on the left side because unless you're on the left side, you're going to have a very tricky third shot to try to get to the pin. If you are on the left side, you can probably see the basket, making it that much more likely that you're going to be able to get the birdie on this hole.
Lisa playing this really well. I mean, she's aiming straight at the right side of the fairway, hyzering into the middle. I know Owen's very disappointed at this point with that OB stroke, knowing that Lisa has 2 sticks on her, and we are on hole 12. So this is when the pressure, if you so choose to put it on yourself, gets pretty high.
That's a fantastic place to be to attack the pin.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that part of the fairway. I haven't been up on the left side of the green there, but that was a great shot.
Is the green going to come into play here? Oh, she's fine.
All right. Bella's got a pretty powerful forehand as well.
So this might look funny, but it is the left side of the path that's OB, not the right side of the path. So throwing from the path is fine. Wow.
Great recovery there. Looks like a tap in. Lisa around the corner. Oh, yeah. This is
fantastic.
For a birdie look. I love that placement.
Ella's in a great spot, too, to be able to see the pin.
Plenty of distance to clear it, and excellent spot to be. I love that.
And this is the best spot I've ever seen for an approach on this pin. That's gorgeous.
It just seems so much easier from there.
Well, yeah. Usually, it's a blind third shot, and you have to turn it over so much that it's probably going to roll away from the basket if you do get anywhere close to it.
Now, Jess is a little disappointed for sure there, just being a little too right. Oh, you can see how steep that angle is just from the slippage. Oh, no. Ella very disappointed after getting herself in that position for the birdie. It's tough to get up that far. Lisa totally cashing in here, especially because she's in first place. She knows Owen's hot on her tail, but Owen has taken the OB stroke, so now she's got 3 strokes to play with ahead of her. Tapping in for Jess, the par. No damage, just disappointed not taking the birdie. Ella, same thing. Oof.
Hole 13. Though this is a generous island, it is hard to land on this island. There's OB right, there's OB left, there's OB short. The thing is that the slope of the land is right to left, and as a hyzering shot starts to fade, it follows the topography of the land and typically ends up OB.
I think there's some sort of like plastic extra gravitational pull too towards the OB, because I can't tell you how many players hung it way up high and right, and just like Lisa.
That, it looked fine. Yeah, and the other thing is you've got a pretty strong headwind, so you have to throw something over stable. So it is going to fade, because once it gets up against that hill, the wind is now blocked. So now the stability of the disc comes into play. It's really hard to stay safe on this hole.
This looks like good angle for Owen. If I only could have taken notes or taken a lesson on keeping it lower out of that wind.
But that doesn't always solve it either.
Yeah.
I saw a low shot that looked perfect with an actually neutral stability disc, and it hit the side of the hill straight on, and because of the rotation, rolled OB.
Man. Ella trying to take it over the right side OB, and hyzer safe. Please be nice. No. Pretty far left. Getting the OB flag, just like Lisa taking it from OB here. This will be for her 3. She's up there, and it's going to be a tester putt looking at the death putt, actually.
Notice how they can just see the top band of the basket. So at least they know where it is. And there is a little bit of a flat area where the basket is, so this isn't as scary as some of the other basket placements.
Owen's up there, nice and safe on her second shot. I loved Jessica's drive. I mean, she fully worked that sidearm to land in a great spot, but then this one, I think it was a little overcooked for the Anheuser angle. Circle 2 comeback right here. Hitting the pull with the accuracy, landing safe, but no par for Jess today.
Gosh, that's
Oof.
nice.
Good bogey save. I mean,
Such
confident.
such a great line.
And Lisa knows where the scores are at. Owen's so stoked that one stays in. Gaining a stroke on Lisa here, getting the par. Still 2 back. It's an intense battle. All right, safely in for the bogey and just moving on to hole 14 for Ella Hansen there. Same thing for Jess. Very disappointed in the bogey. Ready to clear her mind and move on.
Hole 14, 453-foot par 4, 47 feet of elevation change. Not only does the slope of the land slope up, but it also goes from right to left. The second shot on this hole can be blind because of the ridge that the players are throwing over. There is OB right behind the basket, and when I say right, I mean directly behind the basket.
Literally directly behind the basket. This is a good shot for Owen. She's going to hyzer right into what I call the better footing, a little bit flatter. I mean, everything is uphill here, but the further left you hyzer, the better the footing.
Exactly. And the more likely you are to be able to see the pin.
Lisa's going to have something similar, maybe just a tad bit further, but great shot. Jessica lining it over the steep right side, probably hoping for the same result. She's throwing Anna Heiser, come on back. And she's going to have a pretty steep stance there. She's plenty up the fairway, though. And Ella, I think letting go just a little earlier than she wanted, but plenty of distance up the fairway.
She still might have an easier approach shot from there, even though she's on the left-hand side of the fairway. She's got enough height on that she's probably going to have a flatter shot approach.
And Owen holding her follow through, looking for a little more of that left, but she's landed so close to the basket.
That was a fantastic shot.
Yeah.
That went a long way uphill accurately.
With a tough front up.
That is also, oh my gosh, that is so good.
Yeah, that's textbook. Jess with a forehand. Into the entry. Also fantastic. Wow. These girls know what they want. And you're right. This is a really friendly approach,
Yeah, she's almost even with the opening. Did not get enough. Oh, she went on the green.
That green is, something that comes into play no matter what if you're hyzering out.
Oh, it shouldn't have for her. I'm not sure she didn't get near enough power on that.
Left herself a bit short here. This is a really tough putt. There's a tree just left.
And there's OB 12 feet behind the pin.
She gave it a great bid, though. Just not quite enough hyzer angle to stick in the basket. Lisa's stoked.
Fantastic birdie.
I mean, if she wrote notes on how to play this hole, she'd completely followed the notes.
Another fantastic birdie. I was really impressed with the second shot that she had there, or actually where she put herself in position for that second shot, which works to her strengths, the sidearm.
Woof. I love that. I mean, it was, semi-obstructed putt, but still close enough to the basket. It was no problem for Owen to card the birdie, keeping it up with Lisa. Still 2 strokes difference for the first place spot. Looking at the leaderboard, Lisa's got the lead all the way down Ohn in second, and a tie for third with Holland on second card. Jessica Weese. Ella has dropped to fifth. And we're moving on to hole 15.
Hole 15, 764-foot par 5. There's a little bit of danger on the left with those sand trap hazards, but mainly people just want to get as far down the fairway as they can. The longest arms are really hoping to try to get an eagle on this hole, but the basket is pretty protected with that front tree. The basket's also on a mound, which of course makes you think about it, and you're throwing under the tree and up on the mound, making it even harder to approach.
On keeping it plenty right so that she is in a great spot to attack her second shot there. I think all the players are really trying to stay on the right-hand side of the green here.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the fairway.
Yeah, the right-hand side, I think, is a better place to approach from, and it also keeps you away from the hazard.
This looks really nice. I like the turnover she got there, and Heiser's back into the center.
Beautiful edge control.
And Ella rounding out this tee shot, fourth on the tee, looking for big distance, as you can see, trusting that DD3 all the way back into the fairway. That was a gorgeous shot with incredible distance.
And this is slightly uphill, making that even more impressive.
Lisa for her second shot. Working that destroyer, getting plenty of distance up the way. Beautiful.
The women have a tiny, well, not tiny, a noticeable tailwind here.
Great shot for Ohn there. Her and Lisa are just kind of going up the fairway almost at the same margin. Wow, look at that angle control. Seriously, with the tailwind, with everything. Jessica.
Wow.
Wow.
That was wonderful.
And she's unobstructed by that
Yeah.
front tree, giving herself a look. Ella's in great position for this second shot.
Felt like it was a little early.
Yeah, not quite enough turn on that disc. But there's nothing back there. Oh,
The green.
There is.
Oh, no. So that path is not OB, but the green, of course, is.
Super unfortunate for Ella. She's finding OB a lot more than anybody would have wanted for her final round here.
Oh, great shot there by Ohn.
Lisa for her third. Keeping it low and controlled. Just getting a little baby skip. Easy putt there, hopefully. Okay, from the OB, Ella Hansen. Giving it a really good bid there. Landing safely.
This would be for an eagle. Oh, no.
Oh, just a little bit high. Had really good angle on it, but now for her birdie shot. Yes.
Yes. I was willing that one in there.
Me too. Always want to see the players cashing in on those clutch birdies. No.
Oh.
That was also for Ohn's birdie. And Lisa cashing in on knowing that Lisa's taking one more stroke away, or I guess one more stroke to be 3 strokes ahead. On taking the par. Tapping in Ella for her par as well. Pretty disappointed, but no damage. We're moving on to hole 16 here. We've got the drone coverage sponsored by thediscbarn.com. Head over and check them out. They've got a huge variety of disc selection, and we're pretty stoked about the support that they're providing here with the GK drone coverage. This hole is tough. It's also really fun to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects to this hole. The tee shot is really, really difficult, although That's wonderful. You're throwing out over the canyon. You can't see the bottom of the canyon, and you're back far enough that you can't throw down. You're forced to throw straight or even up if you're aggressive. But you need to turn it, and you've also got a headwind, so you need to turn it but not have the headwind completely take the disc. And in that middle area, it slopes a little bit from the tee, not from this view, but from the tee right to left. So if it starts hyzering out, you'll end up going along with the topography and going quite a bit farther than you would want in that direction.
And that's a great shot. Almost finding its way to a perfect flat. Still a little bit of downhill run up there. And Ella with plenty of distance to get way up the fairway here. This is one of her favorite holes. She's eagled it already. Looking to do the same thing right here in the final round.
Fantastic.
How far up the hill that is. Boom stick distance.
Now, as difficult as this hole is, I still don't think it's a par 5.
Right.
This
Definitely going to
this
need
should
some
probably be a par 4.
adjustments. Yeah, adjustments on a couple of these pars here. It's pretty far up the fairway there for Lisa. I like it. I'm choosing the sidearm shot approach here. Running downhill, no doubt. Nothing that we regularly practice.
Yeah, a little tricky. She's going over the green there.
It's pretty good. Jessica with some tough footing, but nothing that she can't handle. Wow. Great.
I keep losing Jessica's disc when it's against the sky.
Yeah. It's a great shot there, though. She's in good position. Second shot for Ella. No problem. Getting it right next to the pin.
Gorgeous. So
how often do you get a tap-in eagle?
Exactly.
Excellent. And that's good coming off of a couple of tough holes for Ella. Ohn leaving no work there for the birdie. Same thing for Lisa. Jessica's got kind of a jump bid here for circle 2 or just outside of. Yeah.
Good effort there.
Easy landing. Looks like a couple of tap-ins for our really awesome, well-played hole 16 top card here.
Yeah, no trouble for this card.
Love seeing Ella card that eagle with no problem. Birdie, birdie, birdie for the rest of the card.
Yeah, so another 5 under for this hole. This is the third card that I've seen with a 5 under on this hole.
Excellent. And we're coming into hole 17. Lisa has pulled away a bit, maintaining the 3-stroke lead.
Hole 17, par 3, 302 feet. Throwing over the canyon, you've got this little bowl in front of the basket, which makes for a really nice backstop if you can throw it right under the pin.
Ella taking the box with that eagle. Looking to throw a hyzer the whole way. May not have the height there, but landing safely on the side hill. I think she's about pin high there,
Yeah,
too.
it looks like it. There is an OB line on the left, but it's also a fence, so if it comes into play, you'll likely just kick off of that. And there is an OB green long right, but that shouldn't come into play.
I like this. In the bowl, I think?
I think so.
Yeah. And as we've mentioned in previous days, that bowl is totally the landing zone you want. It's a friendly putt. It's uphill instead of downhill.
Right.
It's the birdie spot. Oh, and hanging it out wide. Looking to grab that side hill, and she does.
That's a great spot. Kind of surprised none of them went straight at it. This is,
Yeah.
it plays like about 270, so a slow fairway driver or a mid-range straight at it.
Absolutely. For the birdie. Just, unfortunately, just a little bit right there, but landed safe. Jess will be tapping in her par. Oh, Lisa, stay there. No. Okay. All right. Still got an uphill bid for the par.
I would have lost a lot of money on those bets.
Yeah, me too. Taking her time and lining it up.
No. Wow.
And even though she had a few strokes to play with, Lisa could have been placing a lot of pressure on herself here on hole 17's green.
Well, there's a pretty strong tailwind. Those were high. Those putts were high. And I think the chains just kept them wide enough that the wind was able to push them outside of the basket.
Although it was definitely not the bogey looking to be carded by Lisa, we've got Ohn catching up.
This is hole 18, 565-foot par 4. There's not a lot of trouble. There is an OB line on the left, but it is still a very generous fairway, and it shouldn't come into play. Again, the basket is right on a ridge, so if you want to use that as a backstop for your second shot, it works quite nicely.
Back on the top of the box with that birdie. Only one stroke difference now between her and Lisa. You know she's going to have to play aggressive and smart. She really wants to card the birdie on this hole.
This hole is birdieable by all the women on the card for sure.
Safe landing, center cut. Ella second on the box. She's got that DD3 again. I was just going to say, I want to see some big distance here. Put it pretty high up in the air. Find your way to the ground safely. And she does. I'd like to say no question there, but a little close for my liking. Pretty drastic hyzer angle there, trying to just land it safely. Up in the air, and she's good.
Yeah, like the last hole, the women are playing with a tailwind here.
Lisa looking to make a smart play here off the tee, land safe in the center, not break too much off.
That's nice.
Keeping it out of the wind. Landing great. Walking up that fairway, you got to know Lisa and Ohn got a lot of thoughts going through their head on what this second shot will bring. All right. Up the fairway. She's got a bid there.
Yeah, it's not what she wanted, but she's still putting at it.
Very important second shot here for Ohn. Putting the hyzer up in the air, looking to dig in and bite, and she does. She's not that far below the basket. Again, a very important approach here for Lisa.
That was gorgeous.
Ooh-wee. A lot of claps from the gallery there. No question. And that is a lot of professional experience. The ladies know what's happening at this point. You can see them hug it out a little early before the end of the round. Hyzer up shot out of the wind there for Ella. Great spot to be.
Nice.
Okay, for the birdie here. Just left. Let go on a little early, I think. Ella confidently putting her birdie in the basket. That's a nice way to finish.
Yeah.
Disappointed in her round, no doubt, with 6 OB strokes today, but really nice to see Ella Hansen, the rookie, on this top card. Ohn bowing, stoked about that birdie, very, very happy. She's got second place secured. First place with a final finishing birdie. Lisa is stoked to take another championship. This is a Silver Series Pro Tour event, but she's taking some more points into her season, looking to make that championship tournament at the end of the season for the Pro Tour.
Such strong play by Lisa. Really beautiful to watch.
Women's champion, Lisa Fajkus. All right, Lisa. So, man,
Wow, great trophy. right?
Yeah.
Man, I was walking down the 18th fairway with you guys, and you put
Wow.
your shot within 5 feet, and you gave Ohn a big hug. Can you tell us and the people and the fans at
Yeah.
home what you were feeling in that moment with your friend?
Oh yeah, just a great competitor out there. Such a great car. All these ladies out here are so amazing. So we were rooting for each other the whole time. A lot of good spirits and good vibes out there. I mean, I love playing with Ohn, Jess. I got to meet Ella. She's amazing. So great day.
Now, this course has a lot of distance, but the greens are pretty wide open and windy. Do you feel like the putting or the driving led you to victory today?
Yeah, really those upshots that were really helping me out. Like that last hole, putting it close on 18. Throwing my Halo Savant a lot. It's a really overstable fairway. It's not making me putt very much, but my putting was pretty good, but I did leave some out there. So the drivers are really coming through for me.
Nice. Okay, well, the show's over, and I got one more question for you.
Okay.
What's for dinner?
Probably some burritos or some fish tacos. So yeah, right by the ocean. So gotta go celebrate. Maybe some margaritas. Yeah.
There we go. All right, Lisa Fajkus, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Yeah, Lisa.
Lisa Fajkus, your FPO champion for the challenge at Goat Hill. And like she said in the interview, although not required, what a special thing to have really happy competitors you know you're cheering for, and they're cheering for you the entire time. Here's a look at our leaderboard from the final top card. Lisa taking it down, owns second place. Jess tied for third. Ella dropping to seventh, but still a great finish for her. Thank you to Innova Champion Discs for sponsoring this event. Huge thank you to the GK Pro covering FPO, and you know that the crowd wants to see not this flow, but these ladies have a go. Top 10 there. Juliana, nice finish, tied for 9th. Kona and Ella tying for 7th. What a weekend. What a beautiful location. What excellent competition. Thank you to everybody out there for following. Continue to follow the GK Pro throughout this season. They're bringing you the FPO coverage, and we are so thankful that we've got them out here. I'm Zoe AnDyke.
And I'm Juliana Korver.
Join us next weekend at the OTB Open.